Is it going? Yeah. Peace and love, fam. My name is Miss Shay, and you have landed on yet another motivational, inspirational, spiritual page. But I focus, at least right now, on weight loss because this is my journey and I'd like to inspire and I want others to take that journey with me because so many people are are going through that issue of weight loss, overeating, depression, that whole cycle, and they learn, they go on this diet and that diet. And, because I've been there myself. And the main thing that I've learned over this process, over this journey, was it starts from within. I have to check myself where I am mentally, spiritually, and then I manifest whatever it is whatever state I'm in. So we're going to focus more on monitoring our inner state so that our outer state as well. And I realized that I wasn't living up to my fullest potential, which was causing a depression in myself. And that was because I wasn't inspiring. I wasn't inspiring myself. Sometimes I would be inspired, but I didn't feel like I was really sharing it. And so if I didn't share it, I knew I wasn't being my true self, which was to inspire. Everybody learns. They have a process. They have a time in life that they learn that they're in an apprenticeship program, and then they also become the teachers, and even more so, they become the masters. And that's my destiny. That's your destiny. We're not robots meant to just work at a job, even though it may be your vacation, you may enjoy it. But we're supposed to have an exchange between nature, between each other, because ultimately it's about love, love and light. And that's my motivation. And I hope that you enjoy. So, first, I want to talk about my journey. I may not be looking at the camera. Okay, there's the camera. So now I'm looking at the camera. All right, I want to talk about my journey with weight in particular. And it started with, for most people, when you're younger, you learn to self medicate. There was a lot of dysfunction that I grew up with, a lot of mental and physical abuse. So once I got that dopamine hit from the food, I could space out. I didn't have to feel the pain of what the depression that I was going through. I was very suicidal when I was younger. I mean, I remember being 8 years old wanting to die. And it took some time to heal from that. I'm no longer suicidal. I enjoy life and the journey, but it took time and it took a lot of work to get there. Um, but in that time, I adapted this addictive behavior to that dopamine hit. So as I got older, going from going into adolescence, that dopamine hit came from actual drugs and alcohol and being out partying, just trying to stay away from home as much as possible. So I did happen to, because I wanted to fit in more so and I wanted to stop the teasing that I got, I did over one summer between 8th and ninth grade, no, 7th, 8th grade, middle school, something like that. I fasted, I worked out, and I lost like 50 pounds. And I went back, and everybody was looking at me like, whoa. And also at that time in adolescence, boys are becoming more interested in girls. And I didn't really know how to deal with that shift and that attention because I do carry a lot of my weight below in the with the butt and everything like that. So I didn't realize I really had a big butt until I went to school. Everything was small except that butt, and it got a lot of attention. I didn't know what to do with it. I was uncomfortable. I became an object. But in that other people decided to make me an object, they thought that it was okay to treat me any type of way. And I didn't, and with the low self-esteem, I didn't really know how to manage it, how to deflect it or not to internalize, because I was used to internalizing negativity because that started at home. And I took it I took it in myself, and then I emanated that, and I attracted that when I got to school because that was my setting. So attracting negativity, because I had the negativity within me, led to promiscuity. And it wasn't like something that I was searching for. It just came, and I just acquiesced to the situation because I was high. I was drunk. I didn't want to go home, and this is the only way that I could stay out. But it kept me in this cycle of self-loathing and self-hatred, and eventually I attracted someone that was like the epitome of my negative force within me that I had at the time. And this was a very abusive person. Abused me from here to kingdom come. But one day I decided, like in What's Love Got to Do with It, where Angela Bassett is fighting Ike. Well, Tina's fighting Ike in the limo, and she's just going at it. He's hitting her with a boot, and she's just punching, and they're just going at it. It was kind of like that one night, and I knew that there was a higher power. I was out during that process. I was talking. I was talking to the sky. I was talking to the stars. I was talking to that energy because I just knew that there was something more than watching this situation, because there's always something watching this situation. When I would be depressed and want to die, I knew something else was there talking to me and guiding me, and I just wanted to reach out for it to help me. And so that night, go back to that night, we ended up fighting, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna stab him in the eye with my nails, get him close to the door, kind of let him, because his thing was to choke me. Get him to choke me towards the door, then I stab him in the eye and go out that door. And it happened perfectly. Like, something could have went wrong in that process of fighting, and I could have ended up dead. But no, I ended up out the door. So I knew angels was with me. So if angels was with me, a higher energy that I don't see, because I didn't physically see anybody there, loves me and want something better for me than to be in this situation right here. So I got to fix me. And I knew that I made this person. I made this person. And if I can make him, I can get rid of him. I can get rid of anybody that causes me harm if I love myself. I already knew. It was an inner knowing. And so from that point on, I had to work on healing. But during that process, eating. I was eating a lot. I had gotten up to, well, in high school in middle school when I got myself down to 112, I think, and that's kind of normal for a middle schooler. But as I progressed and I was 18, I think my weight on average was 230. Because it was like one negative situation to another, to another, to another. My weight kept going up too. Excuse me. And so then now I'm at the point where I'm trying to healing myself. Started studying, and that just opened up worlds for me. Started studying. Started attracting people that were guides, that were helpful to me, and I appreciate them so much. I became vegan. Lost weight. I got down to 198. Also met a man. After some time of, some alone time working on me, and I got pregnant. But then our relationship was on the rocks during the time I got pregnant. But my son was made in love. My daughter's made in love too. And we had a relationship, but it couldn't last for all that was going on in that situation. So I gained, because I saw that we weren't going to be together, and I was afraid that my son would be a gang member. I was like, oh, I never had a broken home. I've always been in a nucleus. I've only seen nuclear families, for the most part. So I thought my son would be in a gang and my daughter would be on the pole and all types of craziness was going to happen, but it did not. Thank God. Uh, Thank also, this journey and keeping myself grounded kept, and the healing that I did, I was able to transform that to a better situation for my children. So they're fine. But I kept eating during the time of our relationship, of my pregnancy, and I ate, like, the vegan thing went out the window. I just didn't eat meat per se, but I ate whole pizzas and whole cheesecakes. And I got up to, after I gave birth, I got up to 302 pounds. And I was like, oh my God, 302 pounds. I never thought I was going to see a 3. I've lived, danced, was in that 2 realm for a while. And I just got comfortable in that, thinking I'm just going to stay in the 2. And I got to a 3. Those hundreds just sneak up on you if you're not paying attention to yourself. And you're just wallowing in the negative state that you're in. It can, anybody that is morbidly obese, a lot of times they say, like, I didn't even know I was that big. Yeah, because you're just in that state of where I'm just going to get that dopamine hit. That dopamine hit. That's the only thing you're looking at. You're not looking at truly what you're doing to yourself, only the negative energy that you send back to yourself. You're addicted to that negative energy, that self-loathing, that depression that you put yourself in. So you just, you all you know is that state. That's all you convince yourself that you know is that negative will. So you're constantly on that wheel, and you don't even realize. You look up and you're 300, 400, 500 pounds. So 302 pounds, I was like, oh, let me try to fix this. But I was still depressed. But I kept studying, kept taking in more information, expanding my mind to help my mind heal, because that was my intention. All I had was my intention to heal from this. And it helped. I got down to 240 by the time I had my daughter. Went back up to about 275. Then around 275, I went to the doctor and they told me I had hypertension. And that scared me. Having hypertension, and I think it was more weight induced, because I knew that ran in my family. Not to say that is an excuse, but I knew that ran in my family heavily, especially on my father's side. A lot of people died from heart attacks. A lot of family members died from heart attacks. And eventually it did take my father's life. And I knew my father was getting sick based off of his heart condition. And I knew that he wouldn't be here for a long time. I could see it. I could see him deteriorating. And I had these 2 children, and I didn't want that for them, because I'm trying to heal all the mess that I had. This thing I got to heal. So I decided to do what helped me lose weight before, fast. I did a 30-day fast, 30-ish day fast, I think. Then I started exercising. I lost like a lot of weight then. I lost like 40 pounds doing the 30-day fast. Then I started exercising, but exercising at that stage, it wasn't a lot. It was just like walking. It was like that's all I could really muster up for my body to do was to walk. And I would walk this 3-mile trail um, at my heavy weight, and my knees couldn't take it. My knees were like, "Oh my God, you are so heavy, you are hurting me." And these elders, I don't know how old they were. I'm in my 20s. These elders are walking, flying past me, and I'm gonna ignore that. They're flying past me, and they just got that pace with their cane, and I'm like, "Dang, I'm out of shape." I'm in my 20s and I'm out of shape compared to these people. But I kept doing it. And I would get home and my knees hurt so bad. I couldn't move after walking 3 miles. I just sat on the couch. And I took glucosamine and MSM, everything I could do to heal my knees, green tea, and it helped. Flax oil, all those things. It helped, and I kept walking, and I kept walking, and I kept walking. And eventually, as the weight went down, when I got to my low 200s, the pain stopped. And I noticed that as I was walking, I would walk differently. Because over time, because I had to modify and adjust to the weight, I stopped using certain muscles, I stopped bending certain ways. But as my muscles got stronger, I could move stronger. I could walk stronger. I could adjust myself better and became more stealthy. So I started doing Tae Bo, workout videos and things like that, working more muscles. Felt great. Then I did a 21-day juice fast. With all of that, I became a gym rat, loved the gym, got down to 155 pounds. And I looked great. Because let me tell you, my body initially was that when I was at my heaviest, it was like that. It was a blob. It didn't have any type of muscle tone. I was like that blob from Star Wars, whatever that thing was called. I'm not a Star Wars fan. Sorry. But then I sculpted myself into this great, healthy body. But that was also during the juice fast. And then I got off the juice fast, gained 10 pounds. But then depression came in too. And I was at a job, it was kind of like a love-hate job. I loved the people there. But for what was required at this job, and anybody knows me, whoever seen this video is gonna know, like, oh yeah, that job. Anybody knows me at this job, I definitely love the people there. It's just that it took a lot of stress. It caused a lot of stress that you had to internalize. You could not let any tension, any stress out at this job. So you had to just take it in, hold it in the crazy. Because you can't let it out. But I was constantly in a stressful situation. So what I do? Ate, kept eating. My parents continued to get sick. My father was things were shutting down. I saw his legs change because his liver wasn't functioning well. I saw in great detail what heart disease can do to a person. And shutting down his liver, his kidneys, it started to affect his mind. And that was difficult to internalize. And then my mother was diagnosed with breast cancer. So I had to help her with her appointments and raise 2 children. And then I had to take 2 jobs because one job wasn't cutting it, making ends meet. So I just knew at this point in time, my parents are sick. I got to take care of my children. I need to make this money. I'm not even going to care about what I'm going through. And I'm telling this story because I'm sure people who watch this video or need that help, and motivation, that community, they can relate. My story is no greater than anybody else's story. I'm just saying that, yeah, this is something I went through, as far as like, this is a stressful situation that I went through to try to heal, and I got to understand how to heal myself. This is a process for me. I'm not coming here as some guru, like I know it all, and I've never really understand stress, and I never really understand being overweight or healing. I understand that. I've been there, and I want you to feel comfortable in relating to me, because I was not perfect, but I'm striving for perfection. Let's see how far I get. And the same thing with you. Everybody. I want to inspire love and light, and inspire a higher self, and and if everybody is just on that same page, that same frequency, imagine what we do with this world. Imagine how we change this world from where it is going, and it definitely needs a change. And that is why we are seeing it in this condition now, because it's time. It's time for a change. And we have more than enough information out there that we can tap into, that we can raise our frequency, grow in knowledge and understanding, and we can choose to make a better choice. Because if not, we're going to keep going down this path, and who knows where it might lead. So anyway, I'm going to hurry up with this story. Where am I? Gain weight. As I gain weight, went from 155 to 222. What's the numbers? What's the science behind that? The numbers, I'll look that up. Went to 222. And with that, my high blood pressure that I gotten rid of, the hypertension, all those issues came back, but it came back with a vengeance. I think added on with all that mental stress, it was attacking my body hard. There was like pills weren't helping me, and I didn't really want to be on the pills because I saw what the pills were doing to my father. I didn't want to be on the pills, but I had to take them, and they weren't really helping. I tried to meditate sometimes. I tried to eat. I was like on the smoothie cleanse for a little while. It brought some weight down, but it didn't bring the blood pressure down because I was stressed still. So eventually my father passed. He transitioned, I'll say. He transitioned, and that brought on a new change. Not rather, it's not either good or bad, but it was a change. And so I had to learn this new realm. And I am. So all stressful situations aren't forever. For one thing, that's what I learned in that. It's not forever. So what are you going to do when you have those highs and lows? Yeah, I understand you have those highs and lows, but there's going to be those times where there's balance. So you got to seize those moments. You got to fuel yourself with as much knowledge as you can to help you through those lows. And some of the books I read, well, one book I'm reading in particular right now is Robert Greene's Mastery. That was my motivation for doing this video, was because right now I'm in the process of trying to master myself. I decided to do a intermittent fasting to bring myself down, and I invite you to come with me on this journey. I am not a doctor. Don't attribute any medical issues that may ensue from this situation that you chose to embark on. If you do, excuse the spit, to me. But from what I saw, what I read, you can go to pages like Fledge Fitness. There's so many intermittent fasting pages that you can go on, and they're gonna rave about it, and you can get the science behind it. Dr. Fung, if I'm saying his name correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, but go to them if you need the science behind it. I did. So I decided to intermittent fast, but instead of doing a 5-2 in a way that is eat 5 times a day, fast for 2, I also like that from Eat to Live, Elijah Muhammad's Eat to Live. I'm going to right now to get myself down to a healthier weight for myself, to get rid of that hypertension, and just to, I like that zone of 145, 155 for me, because I could see all the muscles that I work for. And it, it still kept the bread and butter down there. But what was I saying? Yeah, I'm gonna flip it a little bit. Instead of doing 5 days a week of eating, 2 days a week fasting, I'm gonna fast 5 days a week, do 2 days a week of refueling, because I do like to exercise, actually. Also, I will be doing I will be doing a walking meditation. And in a walking meditation, and that I do daily, in a walking meditation, I envision the future, my future self. I envision my emotional state in that self. I envision my world around me in that future self. So I change those negative emotions that I've built up, and I've built up like an addiction to, and release them, and become addicted to the positive, loving, gratitude feelings and emotions, and bring that within myself, and align and build that frequency, and align myself to that field. And I will walk and meditate into that, and walk into my greatness and my mastery and who I am every day. So I welcome people to go on that journey with me. I assume something like 2 months. I don't know how long this is going to take to get to that 145, 155 frame. I'm trying to get down to like 145 because I know when I start eating a little more consistent, there's going to be a weight fluctuation, because I will retain more water. So when I hit like 145, I'll flip it to 5 days a week eating, 2 days a week fasting. And fasting is just a rejuvenation for the purpose of rejuvenating my cells, rebuilding new cells. That's what happens when you fast. You get to release all those damaged cells, which reduces the risk of cancer, because that's what cancer is. It's damaged cells. It's multiplying in your body. You're cleansing those out. So it is a good thing to do. So that's why I want to continue on, even when I get to my maintenance weight. And also, when I do eat, I eat just to keep things flowing and functioning. Eat as healthy, dense foods. Now, I don't want to go into eating the refueling and refuel it with junk. That's just going to mess my whole system up. I need to refuel it with green smoothies and lentils and nutrients, just nutrients dense food. So I am drinking chlorophyll water during this time. Chlorophyll water is great for the digestion. Chlorophyll, if you don't know, is that juice from leaves. It's the sugar that the leaves use to produce that green look. Because really the leaves are different colors, if you don't remember from elementary school. But that's what we need in our bodies as well. So taking chlorophyll water, sometimes lemon water, it's alkalized water, And I am taking a bladderwrack and Irish moss, sea moss mixture once a week in the water just to make sure I get those extra nutrients. So I'm trying to do this as healthy as possible and most in line as possible. I'm not trying to hurt anybody, not myself, not you. So in future videos, I will provide maybe links to companies that I use for the Irish moss bladderwrack, and any books I find interesting during this process. But it's all done out of love and light. So I hope you enjoy this video. Hope you enjoy this journey, because it is ultimately, even though I was talking about myself, it is your journey. And I'm interested in your journey because I love to exchange with people. I love to put God's light like right here when we exchange with each other, when we send love to one another. That's God right there. I love that feeling. That just gets me high. And I'm come like this page, come join. Let me know how it's going for you. Whether this ain't your thing or not, let me know. That's cool too. But how's your journey going? I'm interested. So hope to hear from you soon. I'll be responding, and peace and love to you.